You are turning in 10 minutes of BPTV News brought to you by Binh Phuoc television station and newspaper. I'm the one now following are the headline of today news. Bad debts maintained at below 1%. Binh Phuoc prioritized digital transformation in agriculture. Top legislator hold talk with President of Sweden National Council. Vietnam-Netherlands strengthen cooperation in climate change adaptation, water management. Economic difficulties in Vietnam in general and in Binh Phuoc province in particular have affected capital mobilization by credit institutions in the locality. Over recent months, saving deposit and deposit from economic organizations in the province have continually declined compared to the end of 2022. Credit institutions must therefore actively balance capital sources to ensure liquidity and meet credit demand for production and business.
In Binh Phuoc province, there are currently 38 branches of 19 joint stock commercial banks and the Vietnam Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, with 58 transaction offices, 1 branch and transaction office of the Social Policy Bank in district and towns, and transaction points in communes, wards and townships, and 4 people's credit funds. As of the end of June 2023, capital mobilizations by credit institutions was estimated at 51.67 trillion Vietnam dong, down more than 2% or 1.06 trillion Vietnam dong compared to the end of 2022. Meanwhile, the credit balance rose nearly 12% to 119.75 trillion Vietnam dong, up 12.61 trillion Vietnam dong. Nearly 76% of this were short-term loans. Along with credit growth, credit quality remains a focus. Local credit institutions have applied numerous effective measures to handle bad debts, prevented new bad debts arising at the low-end applications review stage, improved the efficiencies of appraisal, and controls the yields of customer loans, keeping the bad debt ratio in the entire system at below 1%. As of June 30, 2023, bad debts accounted for 0.62% of total outstanding loans.
Digital transformation and the application of science and technology in agriculture are key requirements and inexorable development trends, according to a report from the Binh Phuoc Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. In just 2 years, the local agricultural sector has built a digital agricultural data platform to serve the management, administration, and development of e-commerce and agricultural services.
Binh Phuoc province has completed the buildings of a database on cultivation, plant protection and fertilizers, operated the VA system to report on the epidemic situation online at the provincial level, and drawn an epidemiological map, Quantum GIS. The province has issued 19 production area codes for exports on an area of nearly 2,000 hectares, has 84 agricultural and forestry cooperatives engaged in value chain production and supply to supermarkets and convenience stores, and has 22 cooperatives applying technology to production, of which 18 meet VietGAP, Global Gap, RA, and organic standards. Binh Phuoc targets having 20% of its farms and production facilities digitized by 2025. It also aims for all one commune, one product, or co-op agricultural products in communes, wards, and townships, piloting digitization. The province is piloting the comprehensive digital transformation of production models for a number of cooperatives, promoting agricultural products on e-commerce platforms.
In the first half of 2023, with drastic direction and management from local authorities, the socio-economic situation in Chương town has continued to develop and positive results have been recorded, with production and business activities developing stably.
Over the past 6 months, Chương economy has continued to grow. Total state budget collections reached more than 274 billion Vietnam dong, while total state budget expenditure was over 235 billion Vietnam dong. 70 new enterprises were established. The town also created jobs for more than 3,700 workers, provided vocational trainings to over 1,300, and has 92% of its population having health insurance, while 7 out of the 23 schools met national standards. In the remaining months of the year, the town will pay special attention to the management of planning, construction, land, minerals, and the environment. It will also accelerate the implementations of digital transformation and seriously implement administrative reform.
Now let's begin our top stories around the country. First of all, we have the report of State President Võ Văn Thưởng activities on June 28.
State President Võ Văn Thưởng met voters in the central city of Da Nang on June 28 to announce the results of the fifth sessions of the 15th National Assembly and to hear and respond to their opinions. Voters greatly appreciated the results and content of the fifth session. They agreed with the drastic views expressed on anti-corruption efforts and hoped that cases of corruption and other negative phenomena go to trial quickly to recover lost assets. Voters also suggested clarifying responsibilities and strictly disciplining the slow disbursements of public investment capital. Speaking at the meeting, President Thưởng said the voters' comments were quite profound, referring to issues of importance in socio-economic life. He affirmed that in addition to fighting corruption, prevention efforts have also been effective.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính is paying an official visit to China. Join us to see his activities on June 28.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh called on Chinese investors to expand investment in Vietnam. While addressing the Vietnam-China Trade and Investment Cooperation Forum in Beijing, the forum was attended by Chinese Vice Premier Liu Guozhong, leaders of ministries and agencies, and representatives from more than 350 enterprises of both Vietnam and China. Vice Premier Liu said, Vietnam is China's fourth largest trade partner in the world, with two-way trade hitting $175 billion in 2022. According to the leader, China encourages and creates favorable conditions for competent enterprises to invest in Vietnam. Addressing the forum, Prime Minister Chin stressed the need to find the best solution for investors and researchers to contribute to the development of bilateral relations. It is necessary to have an exclusive working group on trade and investment, he said, adding that there remains an ample room to further develop the economic, trade and investment relations between the two countries.
President of the National Council of Switzerland, Martin Candinas, is paying an official visit to Vietnam on June 28. Chairman of the National Assembly, Vương Đình Huệ, hosted a welcome ceremony and talked with the guest.
The chairman affirmed Vietnam always attaches importance to its traditional friendship and cooperation with Switzerland. Regarding parliamentary cooperation, he expressed his hope that the two sides will continue to maintain the exchange of delegations, including among parliament committees and parliamentarians. Candinas said, both countries have a common goal of sustainable development, therefore, the European nation is ready to cooperate for the two sides to achieve this goal. Regarding the two-way trade turnover of approximately $810 million last year, and Swiss investment in Vietnam worth nearly $2 billion, the two leaders said, the figures are not commensurate with their potential. They agreed to accelerate the negotiation process and signing of a free trade agreement between Vietnam and the European Free Trade Association, which consists of Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein.
Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà is paying a working visit to the Netherlands to co-chair the 8th meeting of the Vietnam-Netherlands Intergovernmental Committee on Climate Change Adaptation and Water Management.
Deputy Prime Minister Ha expressed his delight at positive development of the bilateral relations, including the strategic partnership on climate change adaptation and water management. The Vietnamese side made specific cooperation proposals in the priority areas of climate change response, water management, green agriculture, and circular economy. The Dutch side acknowledged the proposals, affirming that it will continue coordinating with relevant agencies of Vietnam. They agreed on new potential cooperation contents for the coming period, including the signing of a joint cooperation plan in the field of sustainable offshore sand mining on this occasion. The two sides then signed the minutes of the 8th meeting, and agreed that the next one will be held in Vietnam with a specific date to be decided through diplomatic channels.
And that is the end of our bulletin today. To read what is new, you can download the BPTV Go mobile app or visit our website and YouTube channel. Now, thanks for staying with us and see you next time.